All right, alcoholic audio engineer coming to you from lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. I'm speaking my intro as I get set up. The sun is going to be going down soon. I still get that empty feeling sometimes as the sun is going down. It's the time, that's reach for the bottle time. Still, just reflexive. Much better at dealing with it, though. I always remember the attack and the envelope and the decay. Get that first few drinks in you. The transient. Oh, sharp transient. Sharp transient. Sharp transient. A couple of shots of whiskey. Tequila, whatever. I couldn't afford to drink like that. But soju, yeah. Soju is more like a, yeah, with that wong in there. And beer's like that. But there's the transient, there's the attack, and the inevitable decline. And then if you're an alkie, you're furiously until the stick breaks or the drum head breaks. Something breaks. Something has always got to give. So, oh, there you are. Hello and welcome back to the bedroom studio. It is I, alcoholic audio engineer. And I'm racing the sunset because I can't do percussive stuff in here at night. Even though this is a new building and the neighbors would never hear it. I don't have it, well, yeah, they wouldn't hear anything I do. But the long-suffering missus is old school. And in the old school buildings, the old apartment buildings, you can hear everything 2 or 3 floors down and above, over. Anyway, yeah, I can't be beating or even loudly tapping on things that night. So I'm gonna try to not. We laid down the bass drum track with a box, and next we're gonna get the snare part. Yeah, so we're going to use another box. So I tried different boxes. I reckoned the rubber mallet would probably be the most appropriate choice. Although I got to be careful because this mallet, if I'm not careful, the rubber ball will fly off the end of it. And I got this in Vietnam when I bought a set of Vietnamese gongs for an album that I was recording. That's an interesting story for another time. Wow. It's got a nipple in the middle. Can you see that? A Vietnamese nipple gong. I don't think it's actually called a nipple gong. That's the little one. And then there's the big one. It's the big one that I used as the basis for a blues song, a blues rock song. What was that song called? It's called, what was it called? Hanoi Return. It was called Hanoi Return. Hanoi is the capital city of Vietnam. And long story short, I was young and scraggly and wild and free, and werewolfy. And I went down to Hanoi for 10 days and drank really strong coffee and ate baguette sandwiches and pho and smoked a lot of weed. Can I say that on YouTube? And drank a lot of rum and got really paranoid in my little room overlooking one of the narrow streets of old Hanoi, the old part of town. It's a really pretty lake there, and I wrote almost a whole album in that 10 days there, and then I came back to Korea and I recorded it in a Buddhist temple hall. Long story, interesting story. This was the basis of a whole song. I wrote a whole song around this gong called Hanoi Return. I'll probably re-record it. Why not? This gong is really interesting because it has a minor 5/4/1 blues progression in it. A lot of overtones, a lot of timbre. And here's the root. I forget what key that is. Just 5/4/1, 5/4/1, 5/4/1, 5/4/1 all the way through, with wicked guitar solos. Just wicked guitar runs all throughout it. Chromatic runs, played by a shredder and a fine gentleman, and a very old dear friend of mine. He was the engineer for that album, and he played guitars. Anywho, snare. So, it's going to be a box again. What is a snare? Even if you don't know what it is, you've heard of it. Let's just look at a snare real quick. Let me see. Brave browser, get it up in the right window. There we go. Here's what a snare looks like. Let's see. Google images. Snare drum. That's what it looks like. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Drummer boy. I think the drummer boy plays a snare. Or does he play a tom? Anyway, that's the snare drum. You can see right here, snare drums have these chains. Those are, that's a band of steel chains. And you can tighten them or loosen them. You loosen them and you get kind of a rattle. You get a not kind of a rattle, you get a rattle. Don't qualify your speech like that when it's not true. Talking to myself. Or you can tighten them and you don't get the rattle. Or you might get a slight rattle. But the snare drum is characterized by kind of a snap. It's snappy. You know, it has a bright, sharp attack. But you know, see, here's the thing. Many different drum sounds. You know, you don't have to use a snare drum for the snare part. The snare is the 2 and the 4 in a 4/4 groove. The kick is the 1 and the 3, and the snare is the 2 and the 4. Boom, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I did the kick drum sound on the box, that was 1 and 3. Now we're doing the 2 and the 4. So you could use anything in the 2 and the 4. And indeed, anything and everything has been used for that 2 and 4. But I'm going for something snary sounding. So I thought about this box. It's kind of snappy, but the box is a little bit thin. The cardboard's thin and a bit feeble. Notice I'm choosing a smaller box because it's going to have it's common sense, isn't it? A bigger box is going to be deeper and woofier, more bass-like. And how's my levels here? Oh, I might have to turn up my levels. It could be that the long, creepy finger of Bill Gates has wormed its way into my OS and slimily toggled my input gain again. That guy needs to be dealt with rather severely, in my humble. All right, where am I? Settings. I'll do it up here where you can see it. Okay, so settings. It's called settings. My name is Admin. I'm your host. System, sound, input, Titan Studio Pro. It's my microphone, device properties. And again, once again, this time down to 75. Last time it was down to 85. I didn't do that. Now the sound just suddenly got louder. How? That's just so expletive annoying. There's no point. It's like I want to restart this video now because you see, I just in frustration I whacked it and it caved in. It's like why the fuck have a setting that you can set and then Bill Gates sticks his little finger into your operating system and turns it down for you. It's probably too loud now anyway. I need to go into advanced sound options and dial it down in I don't have Cakewalk open yet. That's OBS. I'll bring that down to 90. Okay. That's good. Not that old medical expert Bill Gates is not going to come in here and fiddle around with my settings again. Anyway, back to the snare. So I found this is a board game for kids. It's nice and sturdy. I'm not going to damage it. And listen. Clipping. Wow. Anyway, this'll do. A dry snare. So I'm going to get right into it this time. Start Cakewalk. Cakewalk. Where are you? There you are. And our project is called Gorilla for Building a Song. I'm not wearing my headphones. Better put on my headphones. Oh, I don't know what I would do without sugar-free carbonated beverages. Right, so this is the kick that we tracked. Let's just listen to that again. before we proceed. Notice I'm clipping over here on the master channel. Clipping. Good enough. So we're clipping at to the tune of 4.4 decibels above 0.0. That's unacceptable. Now it's not clipping like that because I horribly clipped the input signal when I tracked it. Okay, don't mistake this. I did clip the actual recording very briefly, in a handful of places. That's not the big deal. What's happened is that I've added a track. It is dynamic, meaning the soft is really soft and the loud is really loud compared to each other. It goes thump, thump, right? You can see the waveform. Let's stretch out the waveform. Look at the waveform, right? There's each discrete striking of the box. All right. And you can shift these around. You can edit them. I enjoy that work a lot. We'll be getting into that later. You have a lot to look forward to if you're getting into this. All right? So stick with it. If you are wavering between, should I? Maybe, yeah, I know how it feels. This would be so much more enjoyable if I just had just one glass of wine. Don't do it. Right? When the sun's going down and the vampire is looking around the corner at me. I think about the entire sound envelope of the drinking, the attack, the transient, that's the first flush. And then the decay, which is unpleasant. Why is it unpleasant? Well, it just, it makes you reach for more and more and more. So don't do it. Focus. Focus on this. You're going to love it. All right. So, where was I going? Hang on. I was going somewhere. Not right straight to the snare. Where was I going? I forgot already. All right, so I guess we'll just go right into... Oh, yeah, that's where we're going. Yeah, clipping. So I've added a track. I've added signal volume. Let's put it that way. There's more sound. There's more volume. If I mute the kick and play it back. It's not clipping. That reverb is sounding nice. Hear it? We went with a kind of a bathroom decay. Bathroom reverb sound. I can do that right there. Okay. Okay. So, and then the voice comes now. Right there, it peaked at minus 2.2. I'm pointing at the screen with my finger here. Minus 2.2. It just peaked at with only the guitar. Now look what happens when my vocal comes in.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake.
Now it's negative 1.6, closer to 0. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing. All right, so you see, you add a track and your peak level starts to inch up. And in this case, with the addition of the kick drum, it didn't just inch up; it spiked up, right? So there's, obviously there's, what immediately comes to mind is, well, turn down the kick drum, right? It's just common sense, isn't it? So let's do that. That's good old-fashioned leveling. That's what you should do. So let's do it. Let's go back into our console view. I'm going to do that by clicking the little expando button here. Now I have a kick track, and here's my volume slider. I'm just going to start with, let's say, minus 5.7, 5.6. All right. And let's...
Well, I have had it up
unmute.
here with all their fake ass laws. I am nothing.
All right, now master is still clipping 1.7. All right, minus 7. Okay, click on the red dots to make them disappear.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this.
Okay, now you can hear that the kick is like way down. You know, it's kind of getting a little bit hard to hear, which is not a bad thing, right? We're not making a track for a rave party, right? But it is getting rather quiet in the mix. We're not hearing it so much, and but it is still clipping. So what do we do about that? The answer is compression. And what is compression? If you don't know, people always struggle to explain compression like it's a really hard thing to understand, but really it isn't. Let's look at our waveforms again. I'm going to show you visually what compression does. But the short verbal answer is that a compressor, which does compression, a compressor takes the loud parts of your signal and attenuates them, makes them quieter, less loud. And it also takes the quietest parts of your signal, your waveform, and it amplifies them. It makes them a little louder. You can control how much for each. You can control how much you want to squash the peaks, and you can control how much you want to amplify the troughs or the valleys in the waveform. And the result is that you can then turn up the overall volume. The reason things... Okay, well... One frustration for some home recording hobbyists is my mixes don't sound loud enough. Well, that's how the pros get everything so loud, compression. But they're really good at it, and they have really good tools, and they know how to use them. It's really easy to overdo compression. And when you overdo compression, well, if you don't have the ears to hear the unpleasant effects of overcompression, then you need to work on your... Well, you just need to learn what is undesirable with overcompression. Anyhow, I said I'm going to show you visually what compression does, and so let's get to it. Back to our track view, we want to look at our waveforms. Here's the kick drum track. You can see that some beats are louder than others, right? This one is pretty soft right there. Yeah, that right there. And these two over here, pretty loud, right? So compression is going to bring those down. The tall ones is going to make them shorter, and the short ones is going to make them taller. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we're on the kick track. Over here to the left, we're showing the Pro channel. At the very top of the Pro channel is our compressor right here. Now, you can get all different kinds of compressors, and some of them are really complicated with lots of knobs, and some of them are really simple. Some compressors just have one knob, and a great many have just two. And that can be a really nice thing. Some really nice compressors are very simple. They make life easier. I like them. When they sound good and when they do their job well, yeah, I'll take a one or two knobs over 7 or 8 or 9. I only want a more complicated compressor when I'm dealing with a specific problem that I can only address with more fine tuning. All right. This one, we're just going to be really, really simple, and we're going to use presets like we did before. Keep things simple in the beginning. So, as you can see right here, can you see it? Yes, because I'm not in the way. Kick, right? So we're in the kick. We're in the Pro channel for the kick track. And so I'm going to toggle the compressor on. I'm going to enable it. And here is my preset menu. And drums, kick. There we go. There's snare. There's overhead. Kick. That's what we're going to use. Simple. Kick. Now, we've got some buttons down here. 4, 8, 12, 20, infinity. Without going into explaining what that is, just the higher the number, the stronger the compression. All right, let's put it that way. And let's see what it sounds like. Let's A/B it. I'm just going to solo the kick track, and we're going to start there. So I'm going to turn off the compressor. It's off. Okay, 4 beats. Now on. Now I detected a problem there. See if you can hear it. Listen again. Did you hear between the second beat? Listen again. Right before the second beat, right before the third beat, and just a tiny bit right before the fourth beat, you could hear a little, what's called an artifact of the compression being applied. Listen again. I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to turn it up. Turn up the volume. Going to go back to 0. Listen. You hear it? That boom, shoot, boom, shoot, boom, shoot. Don't really want that. I forget what that's called. It's an artifact of compression that we don't want, and I'm going to have to go back and look that up. It's called pumping, I think. Pumping. Don't want pumping, or whatever it is. All right. Okay, back to the Pro channel. Oh, I want to turn it back down again. Just go with -6. All right. Anyway, let's not worry about that pumping artifact right now. So we'll address that later when you mix, you apply some settings and you mix, and then you kind of go back and do cleanup. Take a break from the normal workflow and just do some cleanup. It's not time for cleanup yet. But let's go back to our console view. I've applied a preset. Haven't touched it other than just setting the preset, right? Haven't done anything. I haven't twisted a knob. Haven't pushed a button. Nothing. Just a preset. Also watch the needle. See the needle move? Okay. That's just an indicator of how much, to what extent it's doing its thing. Okay. And yeah, I guess I'll do this first. I'm going to do something called freezing the track. There's a snowflake there. Freeze track. Don't worry about what that means right now. Just I'm going to click it. It's going to mix the track down with the effect applied, and it should change the waveform. See how it's changed? Now, are they all exactly the same? No. But they're a lot more similar in amplitude than they were, aren't they? They're a bit more even than they were. All right. Now I'm going to unfreeze it again, and boom. Right? I'll do it again. I will edit, undo, unfreeze. There. Now the overall volume is actually lower. I can raise the volume slider without clipping anymore, right? But without turning up the volume, unfreeze again. Without clipping up the volume, let's go back into our console view and unsolo this, and let's just hear all three of them together. Master is still clipping, not as much. I keep hearing a door, but it's not my door. What the hell is that? All right, I'm going to go back up to, I'm going to click on 8. Let's hear it on 8, and let's see what it does on 8. Sounds a lot louder, doesn't it? This is not, praxis is not lining up with theory right now. Okay, I'm going to solo it again. Solo kick. And shit, this video I might not even get to the snare. Could just be about compressing the kick drum and getting it to work. So be it. All right, I'm going to hit 12. Okay. What is that peaking at? It's peaking at, okay, in the kick track. Hang on. All right. Now I've got the kick track dialed down to -6. It's peaking around -14. In the master channel track, it's peaking at around -8. And solo it. What happens?
In case of probable cause, sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to
Let's go back and freeze the track again. Look at the waveform. See up here, it says mixing down audio. You'll come to understand what that means if you don't already. All right. That's what it looks like. And let's go back to console. Let's listen to it solo. Now I'm going to go back to 8. I'm going to go back to 4. 8. 12. Watch the needle. 20. Watch the behavior of the needle as I go through these. 20. 20. Watch the needle. 12. 8. 4. Now listen. You hear the decay? Listen to the decay. The decay changes. Let's go to infinity. See what the needle did? That's really extreme. Don't want to do that. I'm kind of liking it at 4. 4 or 8. It's best to, be judicious with compression. You squash things too much, and it kills the dynamics of music, and it's easy to overdo. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some basic leveling. I'm going to leave it at 4 for now, and I'm going to bring down I'm not going to bring the kick down anymore. I'm going to bring down the guitar and the main vocal. I'm going to do that as we're playing back all three of them together until I'm pleased with I'm pleased with the balance of the three. So this is just guitar and kick. Now it's peaking at minus 1.4. All right. Which is fine. That's good. Let's see. Hang on. We don't really. Okay. I'm going to be switching between track and console views. Just bear with me. Let's see what happens when the vocal comes in. Keep an eye on that master track meter right here.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this word...
Clipped at 0.3. Haven't applied any compression on the other two tracks yet. I'm not going to do a compression bus because generally you do a compressor, on the master bus. Not this early though. And I like to use different compression. Compression is best applied individually. That's why there's a kick setting on the compressor and a snare setting on the compressor. It's highly reverb. You can kind of like smudge it a bit more. So the vocal can come down a little bit. And so I'm going to go back to console and I'm going to bring the main vocal down to -3. And let's listen again.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection.
Clipped again. Main vocal down to, let's go down to -5. Why not? And guitar down to -3.5. Let's see how that sounds.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of problems. probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection and spit it into flaws. When I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room.
I think that sounds pretty nice,
That gorilla in
considering.
the corner of the room.
See it. So overall, I'm liking those levels. I mean, I'm liking the balance. You know, the general balance of the levels. But when I hit the chorus, and my voice goes up in pitch and in intensity and a bit in volume, it clips at 0.9. So yeah, this we're just going to have to leave the snare for next time. That'll have to be tomorrow. And we're just going to focus on compression. Let's get these sounding reasonably well balanced and pleasing to the ear as such, as crude as this is, without let's see I always try to I think it was Igor Stravinsky, the Rite of Spring, the classical composer, 20th century classical composer, who said something like, without limits, I can do nothing. Other people have expressed the same sentiment. Limitation is important for artistic endeavor. And other things as well. It's nice to, so I'm looking at a set task, and I don't want to just I want to focus. So I want to work within reasonable limits. Okay. So I'm setting my limits, my parameters there. I want to achieve no clipping, internal balance volume-wise. I'm not going to work on any more EQ at this point. Just levels. And I'm going to use some compression to achieve that. So I'm liking the levels. I'm liking how it sounds. I don't want clipping it to 0.9 when the voice comes in for the chorus. And I don't want to turn the voice down. I don't want to turn the overall, I don't want to turn the volume slider on the voice down too much more, if at all. So in theory, I want to apply some compression. Let's just not touch anything else. Let's go to the main vocal track, Pro channel. Here we see main vocal. We're in the Pro channel. Let's go up to the compressor. Presets. And let me see. Vocals. Back up smooth, lead smooth. Well, it's a main vocal. It's a lead vocal, right? So lead smooth it is. The preset ratio is at 8. And I'm just going to, I'll just start from the same place. And we'll see when it gets to the chorus, we'll see if it spikes again, if it clips again. Here we go.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection and spit it into flaws. When I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room.
Okay. Where previously it had clipped at plus 0.9. Now it peaks at minus 1.1. Now, does it sound good? I got to adjust the air con, the AC. The long-suffering Mrs. She didn't give me the stink eye, but she cast a concerned look at my energy consumption. She's right too. I actually don't need it on right now. It was just it's humid. Korea doesn't get hot. Everybody thinks it's so hot. Oh, summer's so hot. No, it's not. You know, these people, they complain about the heat. You just try, late July in south central Oklahoma at 95% humidity. Koreans. They also think their food is so spicy. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to leave it right there for now. All right. Yeah. Does it sound nice? You might have noticed that it sounds quieter. That's because let's go back and look at the waveform. Back into the console. Main vocal. I'm going to hit the snowflake. Freeze it. Let's see what happens to the waveform. Maybe this is not visually not a good. Yeah, okay. You see how it's smaller? Okay. It squeezed down the peaks and it amplified the troughs. Okay. And now I'm going to undo that. So what this means is I can go back into the console view in the mix, and I can turn up the volume slider on the main vocal. But here's the question: do I like what the compressor did to the overall sound of that vocal? And the answer in this case is no, I don't. We're not going to listen to the whole section again. You might have, if you were paying attention, you might have just heard something weird going on there. So I'm going to move from the ratio of 8 to a ratio of 4. And I'm going to play it again like this.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass laws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection and spit it into flaws. When I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so hit.
I heard a bass drum beat that needs to be, it was a little bit late. That needs to be nudged. We'll do that later. So that's a cleanup detail. It peaked at minus 0.5, which is awesome. Personally, even when I'm doing a final mix in the mastering stage, some people like to take it all the way up to negative 0.1. I'm just kind of like a negative 0.3 kind of guy. It is what it is. Negative 0.5. Yeah. And I didn't hear the negative effects of the compression that I heard with the ratio set at 8. It sounded more like, the original take. Just that's what compression should do. It should make it sound a little better. Okay? If it just sounds a little bit not as nice to you, a little weird, we can get into explaining why
sounds that way, but you know, these videos take enough time as it is. You can read up on it if you're really interested. You know, you just it's the internet, le internet. Use your ears. I'm just saying, you know, this is basically what compression does. I'm showing you basically what it does. Beyond that, use your ears. All right? A lot of things that we're going to do. You know, sometimes my technical understanding is better than at other times. Sometimes my technical understanding of the, you know, whatever it is I'm applying is quite poor and spotty. And that's okay, because I'm not interested in learning all the technical ins and outs of it. It's a tool that I'm using. I want it to do its job and do it well. And I'm using my ears and my brain to tell me, you know, I recommend you do the same. Unless you're, you know, maybe you're on the autism spectrum, and to each his own. So I'm liking that. Now, if I wasn't doing the video, I would track my way through the whole song just to make sure that that really is the peak for the whole song. And there's a quick way to check for that. I think it's called RMS something or other. I've forgotten how to get. Actually, I don't think I've even, since I started Cakewalk, this DAW, I haven't looked at. I haven't found that. There is a feature probably visible on screen right now where you can just quickly, the computer scans the track and tells you what the peak is. I'll figure that out before the next video. Maybe I should be doing it. It saves time. So yeah, we're pretty much leveled. Let's, rather than playing the same part over and over and over again, let's why not? Let's listen to He's so heavy, so heavy. Let's start. Let's go in here. Once upon second verse. I lost a piece of my mind to a flash of summer lightning, almost without compression. Blind, I surely would have lost with compression. Forgot to AB. Enough to lead me back along the labyrinths I'd left behind. Still when I hear what that does? Isn't that nice? What that compressor just did? It just makes the voice. It smooths that vocal track, polishes it a little bit, you know. Polishes the burrs off of it. The burrs. If you've ever done any work in a machine shop, you know what I'm talking about. Burrs. Got to polish those burrs off. Yeah. I like that. That 8 setting was just too... Yeah, let's AB. Let's AB at 8, just so you... Here we go. Once upon a time I lost a piece of my mind to a flash of summer lightning, almost rendered me blind. I surely would have lost my way, but for some friends who were kind. It's just that. Now 4. Back along the labyrinths I'd left behind, still when I'm groping for my key. I'm not going to explain what I'm hearing. If you can hear it, you can hear it. If you can't, don't worry about it. But you can certainly hear the difference, toggling the compressor on and off. Like once again. On. Once upon a time I lost a piece of my mind. Off. Once upon a time I lost a piece of my mind. On. To a flash of summer lightning, almost rendered me blind. I surely would have lost my way, but for some friends who were kind enough to lead me back along. Now I can see, looking forward here, just getting back into the chorus again, right? Oh, wait a minute. Those are kick. Let's just look at the waveforms. Scan down. Looks like this section, this chorus section is a bit louder than here. Let's see if we peak here. Let's see if we clip here. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy.
Negative 0.7. That's fine. Oh, what's going on here? Alcoholic audio engineer. Why are we hearing signal here where there's just a flat line? What's going on? Remember when I messed up the vocal take, I punched in early and I did right click on the record button, sound on sound. I told you that will not overwrite the previous recording. This is where I punched in. I just have to take this and slide it back this way to reveal the previous recording, and now, right? And the same with the, hang on. All right, just going to join them up there. Yeah, so it looks pretty. Whoops. I'm being too particular here, too persnickety. But anyway, I did the same thing with the drum, with the kick. I messed up. I stopped. I punched in early. Okay. Same thing. All right. Just a cleanup detail. Not important. Anyway, I don't think we're peaking fit project. Boink. There's the whole thing in one window. I don't think we're, let's just check it over here. See if we clip up here. Whoops.
He's so heavy.
Negative 0.1. All right. And that looks to be the, in terms of the, looking at the waveforms, that seems to be the loudest part of the vocal track. I peaked at negative 0.1. I think we're good to go. All right. So, why the hell not? Let's put some gentle compression on that guitar track and see what happens. But before we do, I'm going to pause and go see a man about a horse. If you're from my neck of the woods, you know what I'm talking about. Be right back. Pause. Yeah, it did pause. And I would have realized that if I had looked down at the clock ticking, already up to almost an hour. Incredible how the time flies when you're doing something you enjoy. Truly amazing. All right, so nope, not going to take a vape. I'm going to soldier on. Your time is valuable. I don't need to waste it with huffing away at a vaping device. I'll do that during playback. We'll do extended playback at the end of this. All right, so that's sounding good overall. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna select on the guitar channel. Just for, I'm just curious. There was one other EQ preset that I liked on the guitar that was quite opposite to the one that I chose, actually. I chose one that basically cut out the bottom end and emphasized the high mids and the trebles. And there was another one that did something quite different. I think it was, yeah, if memory serves. Hang on a second. So, guitar. What the hell is going on? There we go. Guitar. Now, guitar is our channel strip. Guitar. There is the EQ effect for the guitar right now. Bass cut out. A scoop in the mids. And then, wow, high mids and trebles. A boost. Pro channel. Right, there it is. And presets. And what was it called? It was hidden last night. I was showing it to you, and it was behind my camera. What was it called? It was called Smooth and Bright, I think it was called. Let's look at it. Nope, it wasn't Smooth and Bright. It was Big and Bright. I think it was Big and Bright. That was it. Mid scoop, big mid scoop. Those bass frequencies down there around, between 20 and 80, don't need them anyway. Those are felt, if anything. They're not heard. They're felt. And if they're not filtered out, they can really, they can make a mix sound really woolly and muddy. So I liked it. I just thought it was kind of quiet. And I didn't want to turn the main vocal down just yet. I'm a lyricist, primarily. I'm a songwriter and a lyricist. And, I like the words. I don't like vocals to be buried, unless there's a good reason for it. I like the words to be, what's the word? Make outable. The wordsmith here can't think of the proper adjective. I like the words to be clearly understood by the listener. There's an adjective that, it's my booze damaged brain circuitry that's still healing. Probably going to be healing for quite some time. Let's listen to this. I'm not even going to solo it. I'm just going to, let me see here. Let's go from the second verse.
He's so heavy.
Boy, the voice sounds hideous over, the quieter guitar track. God, I'm such a lousy singer. All right, let me just. I'm going to bring the guitar to 0. I'm going to bring the voice down. All right, there's another approach. This is what I generally favor. Okay, I actually like. I like a big mix. I like the instruments to be nice and full and big. And I like that because I'm such a terrible singer. I try to hide. I hide it. I do. I make myself sound, pretty darn, not too bad. And I have ways of doing that. This is, I didn't want to just cop out to that right away. I wanted to be, unashamed, and because, I want you to be unashamed. If you, like me, have a lousy voice, don't let that get in your way. Don't let that stop you. This is actually what I normally do. But I still want those words to be articulate. I want the words I don't want them getting swamped out by the music. I want the listener to be able to make out the words. All right? But sometimes if I like the vocal take, I'll make that front and center. Like a Leonard Cohen song. Voice, front and center. All right? The band is way back there in the background. The voice is like right this close to your face. You can practically smell his breath. Practically smell that Manischewitz. All right. So you know what? Just for the hell of it, you've heard that kind of mix where the loud acoustic guitar, kind of loud voice, very present, very very upfront. This is something different.
Listen again.
He's so heavy, so heavy.
Now notice we're peaking at minus 3.5. What does that mean? You can still make out the lyrics, okay? You can still make out what's being sung. The voice just, it's not as annoyingly awful. And I've got other tricks up my sleeve. But what it does is,
He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, so heavy.
now we're peaking at minus 3.5. That leaves us 3.5 decibels between there and zero. I think they call that headroom. It's room above your head. The ceiling is 0.0. You're 3.5 below zero. That's 3.5 decibels of room between your head and the ceiling. Get it? What does that mean? You should be able to infer, even if you're an absolute beginner and you're just learning this as you go along, that you should be able to. Okay. What does that mean? It means we can add more stuff. We can add more elements. What happened when I added the kick? It started clipping. What did we learn from that? You add a part, the overall volume increases. Well, now we've got this space where it's just like, it's, you see, when I told you that the audio field is a space. Doesn't this feel more spacious? Listen to it.
He's so heavy.
Sounds like that guy is kind of far away from you, doesn't it? So mentally, doesn't it kind of like feel like you're in a bigger space? And I could turn up the reverb, right? Actually, I'm going to turn the guitar down a little bit. I could turn the voice up, but I want to dive into this. And I haven't even compressed the guitar yet. So we've taken a left turn. I've re-EQ'd the guitar. I've decided I like this. I'm going to go in a different direction. I can always go back and, go the other way again. But this is really more to my taste and my normal way of doing things. So this is going to be a big mix in the end. Just telling you. All right. I'm going to go and just add some gentle compression to the guitar track. I'm in the Pro channel for the guitar track. Here's my preset button. Guitar acoustic. Smooth and bright. I like that. Smooth and bright. Let's hear it. Let's solo the guitar track and just A-B the compression on and off. Solo. Compression is off. On. Off. It's very subtle. Light and high. It's louder. Smooth and bright. Way more subdued, eh? Let's try thick. You can hear the string sound more. The string sound is the pick hitting the strings, okay? That's a part of the sound. Can you hear the pick hitting the strings? Now listen to when I go back to smooth and bright. You can't hear that pick sound so much.
go back to light and high. Yeah, you can hear the pick sound, but listen again to thick. I just feel like the pick sound just more prominent to me. And I like it. Let's just try regular old acoustic guitar. Oh, it's very balanced. That's very balanced. Let's say B that. Yeah. You see, also in my when I track the guitar, I'm not terribly consistent with anything, and sometimes I don't hit the strings as loud as I should. Sometimes too loud. It's very haphazard. I'm a very haphazard player. This evens that out for me. It's a nice setting. It's a Band-Aid setting. It makes me sound much better as a player. And I'm liking that. I think I'm going to go with that. Let's listen to it in the mix. On solo. I'm going with smooth and bright. When I listen to it in the mix, I'm going with smooth and bright. And I'm going to bring that acoustic guitar down just a little bit. I'm going to bring it down to like 1.5, 1.3, 1.5, 1.3. Change my mind. Now, again, it kind of tricks the brain into thinking it was recorded in a bigger room, doesn't it? Doesn't it? That's the way I see it in my mind's eye. And let's go over to the reverb bus. And now we're in the pro channel of the reverb bus. There's our reverb. And here's our wet setting. That's, so that's just how much, that's two main settings. One is the room size right here. It was really big. The setting was called cathedral, right? But I dialed it down to like bathroom size. And the other is wet. So yeah, size. I think it's like the bigger the room, the more reverb there is, right? And then wet, it's like, all right, so this is a reverb effect, and it takes the original dry signal and it applies the effect to that signal, and the result is a wet signal, the affected signal, and then it allows you to blend the affected signal with the original dry signal. So what I did was I turned down the wet signal. So the other slider is dry. So you can mix your original signal with your affected signal. That's all it is. Nothing complicated, right? I'm gonna increase the room size. Let's see here what that sounds like. Listen to the decay with a bigger room size. It's 44.4. Really unlucky number in my part of the world. Now listen to the decay down around, 5, 4, 5, 6. Very short decay. Let's turn up the wet to, like, oh, let's take it to minus 2 point something.
He's so
Yeah?
he's so heavy, so heavy.
Yeah. So, you know, again, it's taste. It's taste and what you're trying to do. Let me see here. I want to go to a different part of the song. I want to go to, let's see.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone. He never
Says a word, but he won't leave me alone.
his eyes shine like a blizzard
On the telephone. Sometimes he tries to laugh, but it just comes out a groan, for he remembers the garden well. Let's listen to it.
and the flaming shapes of hell.
Now, the more reverb I add, the more it's going to kind of like smudge out the lyrics, right? Everything's a balance. Everything is, and you know, everything's a trade-off too. There's so many lessons to be learned from audio work. If you have the right kind of mind for it. I'm going to bring the voice. I kind of like the bigger reverb. This is less intimate, less in your face, more spacious. I'm more about that. That's where we're going. Because we could just, we could do a 4-track mix, add a snare and a couple of gongs, clink, clank, sound effects. So, it sounds like it was done in a bedroom, and you just call it a day. We could do that. I've already showed you, if you just like take what I was doing and follow it to its logical conclusion and confine yourself to 4 tracks, that's what you end up with. Well, I'm gonna show you that you can you can go beyond that with same tools that I have at my disposal for the other thing. I'm going to start heading into big sound territory here. The exact reverb setting, I'm going to go back and, yeah, let's go back into console view. Reverb bus. There's my reverb. I'm going to just, what the hell? I like odd numbers. I'm going to set it to the size to like 30, 35. Can I dial? Can I punch it in? No. Nope. Okay. 35 something. And the wet, minus 0.7. I'm just going to leave it there for now.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone. He never says a word, but he won't leave me alone. His eyes shine like a blizzard on the telephone. Sometimes he tries to laugh, but it just comes out a groan, for he
Boy, it does sound nicer there. It actually starting to begin like I actually know how to sing. It's actually beginning to sound like I actually know how to sing a little bit. Sounding nicer anyway. It's sounding less egregiously bad. And so the vocal is at -9. The guitar is at -9. No. Yeah. The guitar level is at -9. No, the main vocal is at -9. Guitar is at 0. All 3 tracks are compressed. They're leveled. We're peaking at minus 3.3. So that means that, if I was not going to add anything more, I would, I'd level everything up
I do various things. I'm not going to take the guitar above 0.0, but I would do various things to basically, well, let me show you. This is not the most advisable thing. Let's just say that I'm done with this. I've got a kick. I've got a snare sound. Basically, let's say I'm done. And I'm going to, not going to add anything else. But I kind of want to bring the master up to 0.0. Again, this is what I'm about to do is not advisable. It's not optimal by any means. I'm just going to show you something for the sake of showing you what things do. Go to the master channel. Going to go into, I'm going to stick with my parameter of only using the pro channel. I don't know if I can actually do this within that restriction. I'm going to try. Okay, so master channel. Okay, pro channel. In this case, I'm going to click this show hide pro channel right there. And I'm going to go up to my compression and presets. Master bus light, master bus heavy. Master bus heavy, light, medium. Let's go with medium first. Medium. And in this case, we don't have ratio buttons. Let's hear what it does.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone.
Now I'm peaking at
Says a word, but he won't leave me alone. His eyes shine like a blizzard on the telephone.
peaking at minus 1.6.
Sometimes he tries to laugh, but it just comes out a groan.
Let's say be it.
Remembers the garden well and the flaming shapes of hell.
Hear the diff?
He's so heavy.
Let's try
He's so
master bus heavy. All right, what am I peaking at now?
He's so heavy.
All right, negative 1.6. Sounds a little bit louder though.
He's so
Oh, there's a ratio knob.
well, it's a sickness I know, but ever since my
I'm liking
I've entertained a hope
let's try light.
of ascertaining the truth. Meanwhile, who knows how many blue moons have gone by, and then poof,
Where are we peaking now?
chasing dancing cats across a hot tin roof to nab a postulate of which the one and only proof is that gorilla
Medium.
in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room.
Ratio 4.
He's so heavy, so heavy.
Ratio 8. Or is that 10? 10. Just means the compressor is working a little harder, a little more extreme setting. Now, makeup gain. If I want to bring it closer to 0, over here is the master channel right now. Okay, it just peaked at negative 0.6.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone. He never says a word, but
Okay, we got it on the medium setting. This is makeup gain. Again, I'm not recommending this, but watch what happens. Okay, clip. Clip. Clipping still. Louder though. The trick is to get it to where it doesn't clip. Let's just see if it's going to clip again.
Well, it's a sickness I
There you go. There it went.
But ever since my youth, I have entertained the hope of ascertaining the truth. Meanwhile, who knows how many blue moons have gone by.
Clipped again.
I just been chasing dancing cats across a hot tin roof to nab a postulate of which the one and only proof is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy, so heavy.
Off.
He's so heavy, so heavy.
On.
He's so heavy, so heavy.
Okay, clipped again. You get the idea. You know, it's a game you can play. You know, you just find this is called makeup gain. This is staging the compressor. I can turn up the signal. I can turn up the juice a little bit, see how far I can push it. Again, this is not the optimal way of going about things. But this is an example of applying compression to the master channel. And something you could do if you wanted. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to do that at this point. I want headroom. I want, we still got to add the snare. Got to add some other stuff. And I'm going to add some, I'm going to show you how to use the audio interface. I'm going to add some electric guitar effects. Flourishes, touches, nuances. And possibly even a track from the drum machine in the audio interface. So I want to leave room for all that stuff. So let me see, where do I hate access. Okay, pro channel hide. There we go. Back there. Back with the compression on the master channel has been removed. Return your seats to the upright position. Fold your dining trays. We are preparing for landing. All right.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone.
So I'm really liking this right here.
Never says a word, but he won't leave me alone. His eyes shine like a blizzard on the telephone. Sometimes he tries to laugh, but it just comes out a groan. For he remembers the garden well and the flaming shapes of hell.
You hear when I lean into the microphone, it gets a little more muffled.
So heavy.
There's things we can do about that too. Stick around.
He's so heavy.
The kick is a little loud.
He's so heavy. Well, it's a sickness I know, but ever since my youth, I have entertained the hope of
I turned the kick down. Now we're peaking around -4.
many blue moons have gone by.
Oh, okay, -3.1. Yeah, it's still good.
Chasing dancing cats across a hot
Let me see here.
to nab a postulate of which the
Why not?
one and only proof is that
Kick,
gorilla in the
compressor.
corner of
Let's take it to 8 again.
that gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy, so heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so
Okay, peaking in the master channel around minus 2.3. If I want to make more headroom, I just, dial the 3 tracks down volume-wise in equal proportion. All right. But that's good. I think that's certainly enough for this lesson in compression. And just before I sign off here, let's just A/B the whole thing from raw signal to, let's see, how can I do that easily? Yeah, let me see. Let me see. Oh, don't do that. Kick -6. 0.1 is fine. All right. Well, I'm just going to go through and, yeah, here are the on-off switches for the pro channels. And I'm just going to, obviously I can't I'm not going to bring the levels back up to, but you can hear dry signal versus EQ and compression and reverb. I'm going to hit play and turn them all off and then turn them all back on.
His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone. He never says a word, but he won't leave me alone. His eyes shine like a blizzard on the telephone. Sometimes he tries to
See what the reverb did?
just comes out a groan, for he remembers the garden well.
So we made a series of quite subtle changes, but they add up, don't they? Let's turn them back on.
He's so heavy. He's so heavy.
Isn't that amazing what you can do?
He's so heavy. He's so heavy. Well, it's a sickness
All right. I hope you find this a little bit inspiring if you've made it thus far. And it's gonna be ever so much nicer to track to overdub on, Just, yeah. Much nicer on the ear, on the brain. We've covered a lot of ground in this one. We've made it sound a lot nicer. And I'm glad I went with the that guitar EQ, and I'm glad I went this direction. This is the kind of direction I would normally take it. I thought I might push it another direction, but it wasn't to be. But if you want something more raw sounding, more, you can do that. I like things a bit more polished. Although I like lo-fi stuff. But what I like to do is I like to do something like more I think you would agree that this sounds a bit, I would use the word spacious. It has a sense of space to it. And indeed there is space there, and now we have space to put things. And it sounds a lot more polished. And now, it brings me to things like contrast. Like to, when things are polished and smooth, it's good to add elements that are kind of lo-fi. Adds interest. So that's enough for this lesson. I'm always tempted to add a little bell or whistle at the end, but I'm not going to do it. So tonight, I think in the quiet of my home studio, I'm going to do some quiet work, and I'm going to come up with like maybe a top 10 list of, or top 7 or whatever, of the best USB condenser mics, where you get the most value for your money. I think that sounds like a nice, relaxing way to spend the evening. And now the vampire has slunk off into the night. And not in the slightest bit, not feeling it at all. I'm going to take a shower. Now this is time for me to wind down and just kind of like riff a little bit. There's no more audio lesson after this. Just I'm not going to go on too long, but yeah, just going to take a shower with my Dr. Bronner's peppermint. It's actually not Dr. Bronner's, but it's a Korean version of Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. Peppermint. It's awesome in the summer. It's so refreshing. And make some French fries in the air fryer. And do my research, compile my list, and if you're into this and you're thinking about making the jump, get that microphone, stay tuned. Check it out. I'm pretty sure I already know the one I'm going to put at the top, at number 1. And what is it called? I can't remember what it looks like. Can't remember the name. What is it? I'm drawing a blank, but that one's around, if I remember right, it's about 130, 140 US. There are more affordable options where, well, you're not gonna hear too much. You'll be happy with what you get no matter what. Put it that way. All right. So that's it for this installment in Building the Song, Gorilla in the Corner of the Room. And thank you for listening and watching thus far. Keep that vampire away from your door. Don't, if he comes tapping on the door, just put on your headphones. Fire up Cakewalk. You don't even need to track your own audio to get started. You can take an MP3. Here's what you can do. If you don't have a microphone yet, you haven't tracked anything yet, you can't track anything yet, here's what you do. You take an MP3 of a song that you like. All right? Here's what you do. I'll show you. Bonus at the end of the tutorial. There's always a bonus. There's always something else. All right, so I'm going to save. This asterisk right here means it hasn't been saved. Save. All right. Project is saved. The asterisk disappears. Project is saved. I can go to this little X right here, the smaller X, and close. And new project. Basic. I've got an audio channel, a MIDI channel. Don't need the MIDI channel. Right click. Delete. Just need the audio channel. Here's what you do. If you want to start mucking around with this stuff, but you can't track anything yet, not to worry. Here's what you do. You start up a basic project. You don't have to delete the MIDI tracks, just you don't need it there. File. Import audio. All right, navigate to your MP3 file. What's going on here? It appeared on the wrong screen. Here's my import audio window. files of type, all audio. I'm going to navigate to my Cakewalk project folder. Just to show you an example. Let's see, local disk C, Cakewalk projects. Here's my yeah. That's the right one. Frozen, yeah. Here's an MP3. This is the big Gorilla mix, the big one. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Is that right? Wait a minute. Fit project. Boom, there we go. Yeah. Here's what that sounds like. If I chose the right MP3. Anyway, the point being, I've loaded an MP3 in here. And everything that I've been showing you how to do, I can do with this track right here. It's currently called audio. Audio. I can go up here. I can view the Pro channel, and I can tweak it. Why not? This is a gorilla in the corner of the room. Ooh, did I put a lot of hours into this one. You've been here long enough anyway. Sit back and listen for a little bit. I'm just going to start tweaking. Hear the diff. Hear the diff. Hear the diff. I'm clipping now though. I'm not going to fuck with compression. Just EQ. Solo. Oops. It was off. You hear that? I like that. Yeah, man. I'm going to keep that. All right, let's finish this out. You see what you can do? Just load an MP3 track and fool around. This is not the finished mix. There's outro guitar solos there. Damn it. I was looking forward to the outro guitar solos. And the bass is not there either. I knew it. Anyway. There it is. You can load an MP3 track or a WAV file, whatever you want. Whatever audio file you have, you can load it in there and fiddle around with it. Okay? So, it's no excuse that you don't have a microphone yet. You can even put more than one audio track in there and, you know, you can make a sound collage. Whatever. That's it for now. I'm going to do the microphone shopping thingy tutorial, whatever. And then back with the snare part tomorrow. With much love from beautiful, scenic Paju City, South Korea. This is the Alcoholic Audio Engineer, over and out.